Ruta, you look very ready, prepared. I would give the first word to you.
Thank you, Robert. I have, in fact, questions for all the presenters, but I will save time. So I will come up with one question, and then I prefer to give the floor to the audience, because the whole day sitting there at the audience, I wanted to make some questions, and I feel that the audience also wants. So my question, I would love to start with Monica and Bernd, but probably all of you can answer. When we are talking about those housing areas, Monica was mentioning the plans of some additional buildings with some additional services. So I would really love to hear, what are those services? Are they more orientated towards private business, to attract the private business to make the infrastructure, or were you thinking of some social services? And then the same question, similar, goes to Bernd. Do you think that installing additional functions in the residential areas would help to diminish those tensions and conflicts? Probably it could serve as possible additional jobs for the people who are living there. Would you see it as a potential? So we start with Monica, then Bernd, and probably the rest.
Yes, firstly, if we are thinking about any addition, it should be designed in such a way that is making the settlement like adding functions that are necessary. So as I mentioned, some of them do not have all the services, or they were never completed, especially commercial ones. So social infrastructure sometimes was not completed, but the businesses, the small businesses are in some settlements not there. And this is, there is discussion about it because, of course, we have such a high prices of housing that there is enormous pressure, especially in the areas that are close to the city center, to develop more housing. But that's why we settled the program of protection of those settlements that we chose to protect. Not all of them should be protected. Some of them were not finished, and those we would like to be completed. But it should not be done without discussion. So all the stakeholders should sit on the same table and then see what is possible. So about function is what is missing, so it could be services. In the other hand, sometimes if we're thinking about the challenges that we have at the moment with the climate change, there is necessary to think about refurbishment of some of the settlements. And then I'm mentioning that there is a problem. Not all the inhabitants may have enough financial resources to do it. So we do consider as well implementation of housing in some of the areas.
Yeah, okay. I already mentioned that our problems or our challenges are fewer on the spatial side, but on the side of social organization and social structure. And also, it's always a question of money. This is clear, yes. But our main topic is now to make an organization of social life which helps to integrate the households. And the way to implement jobs inside of the areas should be not the main way. This only can a little bit help, because the question of jobs is very, very often a question of skills. And very, very important is a good transportation system. That we are very sure that the big housing areas, similar like detached house areas, districts, will stay as housing areas. And there's only a few number of addition of working places possible. More important is the organization of the social life now. I have a very drastic example, maybe that you from the other countries understand our pressure that we now have. I was yesterday with my office dealing with a master plan in a very small city of Brandenburg called Strausberg. There is a district with 2,000 people. This is much for this small country. And the municipality, together with the land, has in this area erected a new school, a new sports organization hall. And in this area are 75% children which need help, which get money. And the indigene population doesn't want to give their children inside of this wonderful new school because they have fears. And also the new school has big problems to get enough teachers. The teachers love to work in Prenzlauer Berg or in a fantastic area like Zehlendorf in Berlin. So we have a double problem. And this maybe in our time now is a main challenge, which is very different to your countries, maybe.
Yeah, maybe you?
Yeah, just to address the same question to Zoltan, because at the end of your presentation you showed some examples of installation of some additional public infrastructure in the micro-rayons. Is it only about, leisure, recreation, education, or do you also install something related with jobs and commerce?
Well, I cannot mention jobs, but commerce, yes. So new services and new commercial places are added, and anyhow, the increasing the quality of the public spaces, it is always a winning idea. So that's what we do. At some places we are more skillful and more talented. At other places we are not better than our predecessors from the 60s. Worse. So it depends. What I think that the quality of public spaces is essential. So it can follow a kind of new way of thinking. We were speaking yesterday about biodiversity, but we can speak about rain collecting lakes and new vegetation. And you have to realize that those living estates, what we have for 50 years now, they have 50-year-old trees. And at some places they are really nice landscapes, and that's why it is quite pleasant. What we didn't mention that this is the scale of the buildings. So in Budapest we have the general 10-story high, but we love much better those where they are only 4-story high buildings, and they have much more proportioned public spaces. Here in Germany, I have seen that the general is 15-story.
5 or 11. 5 or 11.
5 or 11.
Yeah.
Mostly 5.
Mostly 5. So that gives together with the 50-year-old trees, it is a nice space. So that's what we have to follow in our new productions.
Well, did you want to give the question also to the others, or?
It's not obligatory.
It's not obligatory. Okay, because I do not want to interrupt this series of conceptual series of questions. No, but we were. I think we have also like this kind of key division, what we will probably also carry out in the breakout rooms. And I think what we also want to focus on, I mean, to be a little bit more specific with the different sections, is that we look here also again on the framework conditions. So what kind of framework? Because we're sure that all the concepts which were presented are valuable in aim and definitely needed and will be carried out well as far as you're concerned. But what is actually the question to the both of you? What is actually the framework conditions you're struggling most with in terms of which stand against your concept, and also which are, you know, on blocking on your way to achieve your transformation? Whoever wants to start.
So maybe I will start with, because of course with the transport infrastructure, the main challenge is actually everything is a political topic, but here we are very sensitive topic when you have to have politicians which are willing to challenge the future, I would say, which will come. It's inevitable, and I'm always telling to Prague politicians, once you can be one of the first, or you can be again very late, not latest, but you can either start now, because it's inevitable, you know, it will happen. So now is the question when. It can happen now, or it can happen in 30 years, and it's only the way when you want to be in that story. So this is very important, because there is, I would say, political topic, because all this topic what we are discussing, it's not only on the expertise of the architects or sociologists and other experts, great experts and historians, but it's actually on the common topic which we have to common agree. So that's our challenge.
This new project is in the beginning, and in the beginning it's mostly a lot of people are excited, there's a lot of creativity in the room, but there are not many resources. So the first goal is to reach resources, to reach money, funding, and then the second thing is that you need more and more people coming on board. To help realize this idea. So it's when there are not enough people who like it, who want to see it in reality, then this won't be happen. So this is our two main things we actually working on. The difficulty is that we are involved in this project are doing it in our free time, because we have other things to do for money. Even in my situation, it's real similar to do the things I do for money, but anyway, I can't double myself, so. And so this is our difficulties at the moment. Yeah, but we are on our way, and we hope we got funding from a program from the local government, also in the agenda of a new European Bauhaus. So this is our goal for the end of the year. And if it comes so, then hopefully it will go quite well in the next 2 years. And when we meet us in another life, not in another life, in another conference situation, then I can show some progress.
Okay, so the main importance is like to keep the people active, to gather more people and to somehow sustain it. Also, of course, with budget and support. Yeah, so,
because it's a place of utopia. Yeah, and I always say we need more of the solar punks, and that's why this is a good thing, and this is important also for Halle-Neustadt, because it was a city of utopia, and yes, this kind of utopia was not coming from the people; it was coming from the government. But now a lot of people thinking there's no future. And to change this habit, to change this narrative, it's important to have such places where it's becoming quite quite vibrant, and to show how fine, how interesting, how creative can be a future life.
Yeah, I'm glad you added this third criterion. or criteria. And yes, and I would have, before we end this, where we said we do a quick first round and then we go for the breakout rooms. Before we ended, I would have a different question to for Mrs. Lütgert, different from the two other questions, because now we heard from the concepts and also like the objectives by Bernd from the housing perspective, from Sultan area for the how to deal with the heritage perspective, Monica, the green transformation. We have here two examples of concepts. This is actually facing, I think, almost the range of, or showing almost the range what we're dealing with. I mean, it's exemplary, of course. So would you add another current challenge, what you would say what was forgotten here? And can you already foresee, or can you already project what could be the upcoming challenge? Let's say this would be working here. So what would be do you see already from your experience, year-long experience, do you already see some upcoming challenges? What you would give the people to already sustainably think about? And we take this advice we take in the breakout rooms.
First of all, I try with my little English to answer.
You can also speak in German, no problem.
Difficult question. I can't see in the future.
Yes.
As far as I understood all the examples and the topics of your presentations, we have. When I think about Halle-Neustadt, we have the challenge to connect all these ideas and to connect the challenges because we have social problems. We have to deal with heritage, which is on one side a very positive development because it gives positive aspects and a positive narrative. I believe very strong in narratives. We have the idea of a magistrale, and we have projects like the how do you call it? Gemeinschaftsamt. So community office. The challenge for the government.
You hold it more like more.
The challenge for the government is, and for the planning department, to connect all these things and to add buildings and on these places where it's needed to have a good urban development and a good urban not landmarks. I actually think that the possibility of making jobs in a small skills is a very good idea because we always found that the building of Halle-Neustadt planned by from the state government, they thought about many of the living things, but not about the wish of the people to have their own individual
businesses, small businesses,
and, their own individual life. So this is what I actually miss in these areas like Halle-Neustadt. And we have, because we lost quite a lot of buildings, we have the space to build smaller buildings with
like to offer that to offer that possibility.
To offer that, yes, for little shops, for services like you had the idea. So if this all works together, what we have here in this round, I actually can't imagine what we have, what another future challenge could be, because you always integrated climate change. So everything is packed in these ideas.
Okay, so you say basically the challenge we have, summing up all this, is to combine it, to think about how to combine it, and then to maintain it in that combination so that it works together and actually mutually pushes and supports it. And additionally, we need spaces to allocate, to foster, to make possible small enterprises, creative industry, probably startup is the sexy term for that, and social services.
Yes, and that sounds so easy, but it's very difficult because we need to reuse buildings and areas like that. There's a huge amount of square meters, which we actually do not need, in fact. We have a lot of space left by broken houses, but we actually do not need new houses. Very desperately. So it's not easy, what sounds so easy, to find the right combination, because we need something from everything you told. And this is the challenge.
So the right mixture and the right spot to put it in the right structure. Yeah, I didn't want to make it sound easy. I just tried to sum it up. To give it as an advice, or to formulate it as some material which we can take now with us to continue in the breakout rooms.
Shall we take a question from the audience, or
I don't think. No, we don't do it. No. Hubert is like directing this from the first row, but I'm completely agreeing. We do it like our colleagues Janos and Esther. We make a short round, and we go in the breakout rooms, because the breakout rooms is the best place where everybody can speak up who wants to speak up. So I would. Our suggested, already decided division would be, I'm taking the bottom up, so that's why we're going downstairs. So I take with me Yvette, and I take with me Ulrich, and Bernd takes the train, and because he wants to, or he needs to, not because I say so, and Monica has to take a call. So Ruta stays with Zoltan Ere and Mrs. Lütgert in the upper floor. And so we try to do this as fast as possible. So everybody who wants to talk about more of that initiative projects, please come with me downstairs. And everybody who wants to...
And we are about strategies.
Yeah, wants to reflect on those...
It's not like top-down,
no.
but it's more about strategies that would help to promote the sustainability of the initiatives at the level of government, local authorities. Yeah,
the overviewing strategies. Yeah.
And Hubert stays horizontal. In between two.
Yeah. And we said, this was our idea. Yeah, Hubert stays somewhere in between. Okay, good.